This is the first sideways extension for four-way flying machines in Minecraft. Now, it's huge, and hopefully it'll get a lot smaller and faster over the next few months. But you can see this upper machine moves towards us, and then after a few seconds, this lower one here will move in the exact same direction. And that goes for any of the 4 directions you want to move it in. So now let's move it off in that direction. So we have some switches over here, and these are only possible because of a new 4-way wire design created by KK, so I'll link his video because it's super cool. Okay, another one down here. You might be thinking, hold on, we've had extendable 4-way flying machines for years now. What are you saying this is the first one? There's a difference between extendable flying machines and flying machine extensions. So let me show this a second with 2-way. This first contraption is what you would find inside extendable 2-way flying machines. So you have some motion controls at either end, something in the middle that you're trying to move back and forth. And if you power these, say you have an engine powering it, you can move the thing back and forth. The difficulty with this is that the motion controls, so these 2 pistons, are very far apart and are actually the outermost points of the machine. Very often when you're working with flying machines and limestone technology, you want your motion controls to actually be very close together and even maybe inside the flying machine itself. So this, on the other hand, is a 2-way extension for flying machines. You can see the thing we're trying to move, just represented by a little sea lantern, is very far away from our motion controls. They're close together, and if we wanted to even, we could wrap this around back to our motion controls. Up till now, all we've had is extendable 4-way flying machines. So we have our motion controls on the 4 corners, and we can move it in any direction we want, but we can't extend something out to the side of the machine, we can't wrap something back around into the machine, and, well, just like for 2-way machines, very often you do need something that can do that. This all changed recently because another limestone engineer, KK, figured out a really cool wire design for 4-way flying machines. So if I flip this switch here, we can send a little pulse along the machine and it bounces right back to where we started it. This sort of mechanic creates a ton of new possibilities on 4-way flying machines, and first of all, it's just way more compact, but what we can actually do is put turns and wires and use the wires to trigger the motion controls of the flying machine. So here we have a turn, and then it triggers the motion control on this corner, and then the whole machine moves forward. What you can do is kind of create a cockpit on these machines by running wires from one corner of the machine into all the different corners so that you can control the machine's motion from a very small area instead of all the corners of the machine. Here, all I've done is just overlap 2 of these things. So same setup as before. I've marked where the wires are with different colors. So if we hit like this switch right here, you can follow along the white path. And then same thing on the bottom. If you're wondering about the color palette, I watch a lot of Hermitcraft, and Gemini Tay challenged her viewers to use this color palette on a build, and this is what I happen to be working on, so I thought it'd be funny to color code the wires with it. Now underneath, we have, you can kind of think of this UFO up here as like the leader, and this one as the follower. The leader sends down a couple extra observers to the flight controls or the motion controls of the follower UFO. So for instance, here's the control that manages motion in that direction. And then the same thing goes for the other 4 motion controls. Now what you can start doing is you can chain them. So here, this is just 2 to give you the idea, but you could put 3, 4, 5, put them all in weird shapes. KK also figured out a way to extend these upwards. The colors also make it super cool to watch its motion because it almost looks like a pulse moving down like a blood vessel or a muscle or something in a living organism. So cool. Hey, thanks for watching, y'all.